Hey everybody, how's it going today? I just wanted to do a quick video on my thoughts about Tesla's stock price and the current environment surrounding Tesla. And I'm also hoping to get some feedback from you guys and see if you're noticing the same things that I'm seeing, or if I'm just blinded by my desire to see Tesla's stock price fall so I could buy some more. Right here I have a current daily chart of Tesla pulled up, and as you can see, this run up off the bottom has been pretty awesome. But if you're like me and you were hoping for a significant pullback, this move has been frustrating to say the least. Well, if you have been waiting for a pullback like me, I think I might have some good news for you. I'm starting to see some things show up that I saw happening back in early 2019 when I first started buying Tesla. The first thing I'm starting to see is a ramp up in negative news articles surrounding Tesla. Now, I had been watching Tesla from afar for a while before I purchased it because Tesla's story just seemed so fascinating, but it always seemed like they were overpriced to me. But in 2019, Tesla's stock price began to fall because of all the negative news that kept coming out, and that's when I started becoming really interested in purchasing Tesla, and I dove a little bit deeper. Now, Tesla was one of the more difficult companies that I've ever researched. The financials were all over the place, and they had a cash burn rate that would make your head spin, so it wasn't always easy to see if Tesla was moving in the right direction. But the main thing that made it difficult to buy the stock was the flurry of negative news coming out all the time. Now, I don't check Tesla's news every single day, but I'll check it at least a couple times a week. And it seemed like back in early 2019, the negative news articles were relentless. And lately, I've noticed they've been occurring much more frequently. Now, I remember one incident in particular where a Tesla caught on fire, and it seemed like the news was perpetuating that story for about 3 days. I can't even remember how many articles came on about it, but I clicked on every single one of them thinking there was something different, and it was just the same information repackaged with a different headline, just perpetuating that bad news. Now, most of the stories that came out back then were downright laughable. And of course, who can forget the infamous $10 price target that came out right around the bottom? I can't even remember how many times I saw that story repackaged. The analysts from Morgan Stanley has come out saying that they expect Tesla's stock price to fall 35% from current levels. One of the things they talk about in their various calls, they expect total deliveries by 2030 to be half of what Tesla is projecting. Now, throwing stones at a total delivery number 10 years away seems a little premature, but sometimes I guess you got to reach a little bit. And they do have a $650 price target on it, so I guess that's the equivalent of a sell rating. Now, another Tesla analyst from GLJ Research says he couldn't be more bearish if somebody paid him to be. Oh wait, somebody probably did. He also said Tesla's accounting is always tricky. Well, fair enough. He also said they recognize and pull a lot of things forward, but if you just look at the registration data in Colorado, their sales numbers in April and May are down 73%. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm always on the edge of my seat nervously awaiting the release of the Colorado EV sales numbers because we all know, as Colorado goes, so goes the world. It never ceases to amaze me the minuscule cherry-picked data points that are the foundation of some of these news articles. Now, there have been a lot more lately, but the last one I'll touch on is the study from J.D. Power and Associates, and Tesla, of course, got a very poor review. This article in particular was jumped all over by pretty much every news agency out there. Now, in my opinion, this story was the biggest pile of poop of them all. So I'm not going to waste too much of my time on it, except for the part where they say Tesla ranked the lowest in their survey of new owners. Now, I don't understand how they could have come to this conclusion at all. Now, I don't own a Tesla yet, but when I see a Tesla owner, and if I'm in a situation where I'm not going to look too much like a creepster if I approach them, and I am a middle-aged man, so I got to be a little careful. I don't want to get maced in the face or catch a right cross. But when I do talk to them, I always ask the question before the conversation ends, and that question is, how much do you like your Tesla? And I swear to God, it seems every single person said it's the best car they've ever owned. Now, I've only asked about a dozen people, and I know that's not a huge sample size, but I think that's a high enough percentage for me to be comfortable with my investment. Now, there were also a few articles about demand issues, and I don't doubt demand will be slightly lower because of the economic slowdown, but I think it will hurt other automakers worse, and it's going to give Tesla a chance to grab some market share. I did find this article, and it was buried a little bit, but I thought it was pretty awesome if you're a Tesla bull. And the article stated Tesla Cybertruck orders have now surpassed 650,000. That represents years and years of backorder demand for the Cybertruck alone. So no need to worry, but hopefully nobody reads it so Tesla shares sell off so I can grab some more. Okay, enough of the news. Let's get back to Tesla's daily chart. And I've drawn lines showing the channel that Tesla has been in since April, and in my opinion, Tesla looks like it might be running out of steam. Now, Tesla had a big gap up on June 10th and reached a high of $1,027. And as you can see in the last 2 weeks, Tesla has failed to take out that high, even though the NASDAQ has continued to move higher. Now, this in and of itself wouldn't concern me that much, but when you combine this with all the negative news piling up, as well as some other things I'm going to point out in this video, I'm thinking a pullback should start anytime. Now, as of right now, Tesla is dangerously close to breaking this channel to the downside, and if we get one more huge down day in the market, this channel will most likely be history. And although the NASDAQ has been strong, the Dow and the S&P have already began rolling over, so they could easily drag the rest of the market down. Now, if this was a regular market environment, I would be trimming some positions, but this isn't a regular market environment because we've got this guy, Jerome Powell, partying like it's 1999 on that money printer, and the Fed has already stated repeatedly they will use everything in their arsenal to shore up the financial markets. So if the market does roll over, I don't think it's going to be super long before the Fed steps in, so most likely I'm going to be a buyer. Now, if I pull up the weekly chart in Tesla, you can see the channel going up looks just as extreme as a huge move we had in Tesla early in the year, and logic only suggests a pullback would not only be normal, but also healthy for a continued move higher. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get a pullback all the way down into the 300s like we had before, but a pullback into the 750 area certainly wouldn't be devastating for the long-term trend. Another thing I'd like to point out on this chart is the balance of power indicator on the bottom. If you're not familiar with the balance of power, all it is an accumulation distribution indicator that compares the ratio of large buy orders to large sell orders. So this indicator tracks what the big investors or the smart money is doing right now, and not the little guys like me. And as you can see, they've been selling more lately than they've been buying. Now again, this in and of itself would not make me sell, but when you add everything together, this just throws up another warning sign. Now, this also could be just some rebalancing by portfolio managers because when a stock runs up, it becomes a larger part of their portfolio, so they will become a seller only to rebalance their risk. Now, my theory is smart money's been lightening up on their position quietly over the last few weeks, and now they're orchestrating all this negative press to scare little guys like me out of my shares so they can scoop them up later. By the way, this is all just my theory and not investing advice. But please let me know in the comment sections if you agree so far or if you got another theory. And if you're a Tesla permabull and you don't like hearing all this negative talk, cut me some slack. I'm a permabull too. Okay, so if Tesla does roll over, the first level I will be looking to buy a little bit will be at the 850 area because the resistance from earlier this year should now become support. And the 50-period simple moving average or the blue line on the chart should also offer some support. Now, I do have a feeling if it does roll over, it's probably going to push through that area and head a little lower. But if it doesn't, I don't want to miss the opportunity to add some at that level. Now, if I pull up a daily chart of the NASDAQ, you can see it's also been in a tight channel and it's dangerously close to breaking down through it. Also, you can see the recent breakout to the upside it had a few days ago fizzled out quickly, reversing the same day and trending lower ever since. So the NASDAQ as a whole has been getting weaker. Now, if I switch over to the S&P 500, you could see it's been trending lower, and one more big down day would break the 200-day, the 50-day, and the trend line I have drawn on the chart, so that could accelerate the sell-off and everything else. The last chart I'm going to show you is of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and as you can see, it looks like it's the weakest of all of them. But hopefully for the bulls out there, it can find support at the 50-day simple moving average. Alright everyone, I think I'll end the video right there. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have another opinion on Tesla or the market in general, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end, and until next time, take care everyone.